of you would know him from the Hug. He's he's the chair of one of the program advisory groups for campus community. Paul, I don't know, can you? I have unmuted you. I think if you can just say a quick hi as well, just to make sure that you're also on the line and you can hear us.
Thanks, Ron. Hi, everyone.
There we go. Perfect. Right. So he's joining us from University of Cape Town. I think everyone knows where Cape Town is. Yeah, Paul, you can maybe at some point just do a quick video and then you can show us the mountain in the back end. And then we've been working, we are a company, Ruxus IT Solutions, also based in South Africa. We have been working with University of Cape Town, and a lot of the things have been collaborated effort between the two. So we'll be sharing a lot of that. So we are based in Bloemfontein, central area of South Africa. For all the Dutch participants here, you might recognize the word. It means fountain of flowers. So that's basically where we are based. And Paul's currently in Cape Town at the moment. So joining me on this end, I've got Andrew Jesjong as well. So we will be doing the presentation together. And then Siobhan van den Berg as well. So myself, then Ruan Ferreira. Right, so let's get going. First of all, I think a lot of us had plans and prospects for 2020. We had everything worked out. I mean, a lot of, from personal experience, I can tell you from a lot of clients, we've had the whole year planned out and, you know, timelines, deadlines, etc. And then I think as all of you know, COVID-19 basically happened. So we went from a paradigm of we've got time for this, we're planning this out, and by this date this needs to be delivered, to a situation where the business basically says, listen, we need this yesterday, please. You know, it needs to happen quickly, it needs to happen rapidly. So I think to a large extent what COVID-19 also did for us, apart from, you know, locking us into our houses, I think it also challenged us to think a little bit differently about things. You know, working from home and doing things differently, more in a smart type of way. And I'm by no means saying that, you know, we haven't applied these configurable elements in Campus Solutions up to this point, but I think to a large extent, this kind of forced us to that sort of paradigm. So up to now, you know, if we had a solution, we had the luxury of time to basically spec it out, develop it, go through all the development life cycles, where now we kind of have to think a little bit out of the box, ironically using functionality in the box, but to kind of get this out quickly and, you know, working as soon as possible. Right, so I think I don't need to really compare for a typical PeopleSoft audience. I don't have to really compare the advantages and disadvantages between configuration in the system versus development. But I think the first key factor, and for all of us joining in here, and I can see quite a number of people here joining us from an infrastructure perspective. I can see Gijs Bertus, for example, here. You guys know that the moment we start developing in the system, and more specifically, the moment we start customizing in the system, it makes our upgrades just so much more difficult. I see Bernhard is here on the line as well, busy with the upgrade there with them at the moment as well. So it's quite important we try to use the configurable nature of the system in order to implement all of this. The nice thing about configuration and the way that Oracle presents this or makes this available to us is the fact that it's not only a developer that can implement things and can, you know, implement a solution or get something working. Super users and analysts can also start leveraging the system and getting processes up and running. Paul is a brilliant example of such a resource at University of Cape Town. He is not a developer per se, but you should see the sort of things that he can actually do just by configuration in the system. So that's more the emphasis of all of this. And then obviously, the moment we use functionality that lends itself towards configuration or development, we have the luxury of a tried and tested system. So basically, I'm sure you can be the best developer in the world, but all developers in the forum here knows that the moment you start developing, there's bugs. You know, you kind of go through iterations where if you're using an underlying framework that lends itself more to configuration, you're a little bit less prone to this sort of thing. And then key to this whole discussion is it's quicker. It's quicker, and we're going to share some situations here where we literally in a matter of a morning quickly implemented a solution. Right. So I'm not going to go into the details of the configuration tool set, but this is a brief list of the different items that we've been using in Campus Solutions. A lot of this yes, a lot of this you can use in PeopleSoft as well. So for the people using HCM or ELM or all of those, yes, you can use a lot of it, but some of it is very campus solution specific as well. Regardless, it's all configuration based. So what I basically challenge you to do is to have a look at what we've done here and see how you can use this configurable nature with what you're busy doing. So yeah, in my best attempt to keep that short, I see I'm already on 7 minutes, so Paul, over to you.
Great, thanks, Ron. And just thanks again for the opportunity to co-present with you and your team. I'm just going to briefly introduce, the certain sections, and for everybody, in this situation, the main requirement is, for the academic program to continue. Now, with that, we had a need to communicate with our students very quickly. I'm basically just steering away from ComGen there. We need our students to continue studying from home, and from our perspective, we, needed to allow students to perform or allow them to do curriculum changes from a self-service perspective. Keep in mind that we, at my institution, we don't allow students to do it themselves. Okay, you can go to the next slide, Roo. Okay, so to communicate quickly, we use the notification framework, and it integrates perfectly within task management, your student activity guide functionality. It also integrates to service request management, just a level below research management. It's much more lightweight in terms of configuration when one compare it to ComGen, and it also allows for batch notifications, with the use of population selection queries. And very recently, well, not so recently, we also enabled this framework to SMS our students, and Ruan was a great help there. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Siobhan so that she can take us through the different configuration sections for making the notification framework work.
Thank you so much, Paul. Okay, so the first section, being the notification framework, is really easy. You need two key elements, which is the notification template and the population selection query. So we'll start with the notification template. You can see the navigation to the left of the image, and it is easier to set up the template than it is to navigate to it. So the first thing we've got is the template name, and that is just the name which you will give to your template. Next, we've got the status, which would indicate whether it's active or inactive, as well as a description, which is a long description for your template. Right below that, we've got the notification type. This can be either SMS notification or an email notification. If it is an SMS notification, to incorporate this, some development has to be initially done. And once that has been done with development the first time, SMSs can be sent with configuration. Then to the right of the notification type, you will see an override notification preferences checkbox. What this checkbox does is, in Campus Solutions, students have the ability to set their notification preference to either SMS or email, depending on what they prefer. If this box is selected, it will override the preference of the student and send the notification regardless. So next we've got the content type. The content type will be either text or HTML, and this is relatively self-explanatory. The notification framework allows you to send rich text, but just keep in mind that this is not going to work in SMSs. So below that, we've got the recipient's configuration. Now, when it comes to SMS notification, the SMS will be sent to the user's preferred mobile number, and then if it is the email, you've got more options. So either the preferred email address or custom logic can be written to determine a different email to send the notification to, but to do this you would need to develop. The same applies for the CC and the BCC fields. Below that, we've got the message text, and this is the text of your notification, and it can be done in rich text, as I previously mentioned. The %1 over there indicates that it is a dynamic field, which is entered once the message is sent. Then the next section is the PeopleSoft query. Now, this is a standard PeopleSoft query that will be written to select the students to whom the notification should be sent. And in this case, we've got the enrolled students. Take note that employee ID should always be part of your fields, as this determines to who the notification is sent. And then we've also got a field in there for the concatenation of the first and the last name. And both of these are dynamic fields which can then be used in your notification. Then the last bit is the batch notification. And this is the part which brings the PeopleSoft query together with the notification template. And this is where you first, in the population selection, you select the query name, which you've just written, as well as the template right at the bottom over here, which you have created. It is important to note that you will also have to create a mapping of the fields which you have identified as dynamic fields in both your template and your query, so the right ones are used. Once you've done all of this, you click on the Run button and your notifications are sent. Back to you, Paul.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Siobhan. Okay, so, the entire world started running from home. We still, we needed our students to continue their studies as well. So we introduced a remote teaching framework, and for certain classes, we used, I think, mainly Zoom. For some others, we also use Teams, just to continue teaching. As part of that, we also zero-rated some of our websites, just avoiding data costs for students. Now, the two bigger issues there, not all of our students have access to laptops or, the internet, data bundle, that type of thing. So to overcome the laptop issue, we used the student activity guide functionality. And as soon as students complete the agreements and the tasks, we could arrange for, their laptops to be delivered. And for the, excuse me, for the data issue, we introduced a new personal attribute in self-service. It was defaulted and opting in, and we inform students and we ask them, if you need internet, or if you need data, you can opt out. If you don't need it. And I'm going to hand to Andrew and Ruan just to take us through the configurations performed there. Over to you guys.